My name is Ron Wilstein, and I'm a broker at Keller Williams Luxury Properties Worldwide in Park City, Utah. Thank you for joining me for this tax appeal webinar. We're going to look at today what you can do to appeal your property valuation if it's wrong or if your property is wrongly classified by the Summit County Auditor's Office. So let's jump right into the topic here. Property taxes and your right to appeal is an important topic, and you have between now and September 15th, 2015 to appeal your property valuation if it is wrong. You can go to the WilsteinTeam.com/appeal my taxes or ParkCityTaxAppeal.com for additional information at the conclusion of this webinar. Let's begin by taking a look at a tax notice. This is the notice that would have arrived at your residence approximately around the beginning of August. On this form, it tells you a number of different things, and we'll go through it and then highlight the key ones for you to take a look at. First of all, you'll see the classification of your property. It will either be a primary improved property, and that could be a home or a condominium. It could be a non-primary improved property, and that could be a second home for a non-local resident, second home property, rental property, either qualification. Third one would be a non-primary land, and that simply means the land hasn't been developed yet, and so it's not being taxed as a finished improved property. Looking at this notice, a primary improved property can be one of two things. It can be your primary residence, or if it's a rental property in a long-term rental situation, a year or longer, it qualifies for a tax break. This is an important classification. So if you're not getting a tax break, approximately 45% off your normal tax rate, and you fall into either your property being your primary residence or there's a long-term renter and there's a basis for an appeal in that instance. A non-primary improved property, as I mentioned before, is a second home or an investment property where it isn't anybody's primary residence. The taxes are handled differently there. If your property is wrongly classified, there's a form. It's basically an affidavit that you sign identifying the property as a primary residence with Summit County, and we can help you get that form, get it signed, and get it off to the Summit County Auditor's Office. To receive the required forms, just go to our special website dealing with tax appeal, ParkCityTaxAppeal.com. Fill out the form there, and we will get it off to you. Now let's take a look at the form more carefully, and this is what's important as you try to evaluate whether you qualify for an appeal. Here what we're looking at, what I've circled, is last year's market value. Now, this is what the county used as your value. This may not have been your actual value. This may not be reflected by comparable sales, but it is what the Summit County Auditor's Office have on record and what you were taxed based upon last year. To the right of that is this year's market value, and this is based upon their valuation, what they think the value should be today. This is based upon its value as of January 1st, 2015, not the value in August or in September of 2015. At the bottom here we see what the anticipated tax will be, and there's a number of different numbers here because this is based upon the first column, last year's tax values, what you paid then. Then there's this year. If there's no change in the budget, then if the new budget is approved, the number is different. So you have a number of different numbers there, but it will give you a ballpark estimate based upon the current valuation and the current classification of your property, what your tax will be due at the end of November this year. Going back to the value of your property, this is what you want to zero in on and find out if this is correct as of the first day of the year, January 1st, 2015. What you want to do is go to the WilsteinTeam.com/appeal my taxes or Park City Tax Appeal to get some information on how to do this. This is a page from ParkCityTaxAppeal.com. It will provide you with additional information. I'm not going to take the time to go over it here, but it's very self-explanatory. What I do want you to know is that we help property owners every single year, and we give a 100% risk-free tax appeal service. What that means is we'll take a look at your property, its valuation as of the first of the year, compare it with sales that occurred the previous year and maybe into the first quarter of this year, and look to see if your valuation is correct. If we don't save you money, if you ask us to appeal your taxes, your initial $189 application fee is refunded to you in full. So you have everything to gain and nothing to lose. If we can't save you money, we simply give you back your money and call it a day. If we can save you money, then we've got to convince Summit County that they should adjust your taxes. If we're successful, yes, we'll keep that fee and a modest success rate fee as well. So we're here to help you. Feel free to call us at 1-800-535-0151, or you can email me at ron@thewilsteinteam.com. Before I wrap up, I just want to give you an update on Park City's property values now, and this is as of the beginning of August 2015. Again, this doesn't impact your tax appeal. The valuation for tax appeal is January 1st of 2015, but this does give you an update what's been happening in the market, and you may find it interesting. If not, you can end the webinar right now. There were 1,338 sales in Park City over the past 12 months, and this is homes, condominiums, and vacant land combined. This is all real estate brokerages combined, and that's actually up 2% or 20 sales from the same 12-month period the year before. This graph here breaks it down into homes, condominiums, and vacant land, and the red bar graph represents the past 12 months, July 2014 through June 2015, and the gold tone represents 12-month period the year before. You can see that the number of sales of homes rose by 2% or climbed from 534 sales to 546 sales. It was up about 12 sales. But condominiums rose by 13% from 611 sales to 689 sales, so much stronger there. And vacant land sales actually dropped by about 13% from 218 sales to 189 sales. Now that was in part because there just isn't that much land available to be purchased. The demand was there, but good choices for a lot of people wasn't. When we look at a year-to-year comparison, and now we break it down by either within the Park City limits or the Snyderville Basin, in the city you can see that the number of transactions climbed by 14% from 165 sales up to 188 sales. In the Snyderville Basin, it actually dropped slightly by 3% from 369 sales to 358 sales. That's dropped by 11 transactions. Again, shortage of inventory is contributing to that. When we shift to condominiums, in the city limits, the number of transactions rose by 7%, climbing from 364 sales all the way up to 390 sales. But we saw a monster increase in the Snyderville Basin in terms of condominiums, climbing 21% from 247 sales to 299. So good, strong marketplace there. Properties are in demand, and there are limited properties on the market. Shifting to vacant land, about even within the city limits, actually dropped by one sale, which mathematically was 3%, from 38 to 37 sales. Number of lot sales, as we indicated earlier, dropped by about 16% in the Snyderville Basin. This is after steady 2 years of rising year over year over year. Now the inventory has been depleted, so the number of transactions are fewer. It dropped from 180 transactions to 152 for a 16% decline. But what about prices? Let me give you a quick snapshot on what's happening on the prices. Within the city limits, now we're looking at homes, medium sold prices, and we've broken it into Park City limits in the Snyderville Basin. Take a look at this. The medium sold price for homes in the Park City limits climbed from $1,300,000 to $1,327,500. That's up 2%. Snyderville Basin climbed by 18%, from $720,000 to a medium sold price of $850,000. Wow, that's significant. Nice appreciation there. Looking at condominiums, we see double-digit appreciation there as well. In the city by 12%, from $484,750 up to $544,900. And in the county, the Snyderville Basin area up 13%, rising from $335,000 as the medium sold price for a condo up to $380,000. So values are climbing quite rapidly with the shortage of inventory. Vacant land, here we have a slight decrease in each category, a little more in the city limits by 14%, $665,000 was the medium sold price, dropped to $572,000. Do keep in mind, we're not talking about a lot of transactions, and so if you don't have a big sampling, this can be a little bit misleading, but it is accurate. Snyderville Basin decline was about 4%. Median price dropped by, it dropped from $324,750 to $311,250. So what is that? That's about 13,500 decline. Again, not a huge number of transactions. If you're thinking about trying to determine the value of a vacant land that you might own, you really want to zero it in by the specific subdivision and area. This is a broader area that we're reporting on here. If you are interested in a free property valuation or consultation to find out what your property is worth, call me. Happy to provide this. There's no cost or obligation. Toll-free number is 800-535-0151. And my email is ron@thewilsteinteam.com. And I'm happy to assist in any way that I can. I just want to show you real quickly how you can get this information requested by going to our website. We have a number of websites, but our primary website is thewilsteinteam.com. You can go to BuyParkCityRealEstate.com. Same thing, but take you to the same place. In fact, let me just take you there right now. Here's our website. This is BuyParkCityRealEstate.com or thewilsteinteam.com. And this is the homepage. And if you just scroll down past the properties to this section here, learn what your property is worth in today's market. Take less than a minute. It's very quick. Fill out either your property address here, the type of property, whether it's a home, condominium, or vacant land. You just check the appropriate one. Number of bedrooms, bathrooms, the approximate square footage, and you'll have some choices to work from. How long you've owned the property, how much you think it may be worth, and when you're considering selling your property. And you've got a number of choices here, and you can choose just curious, no plans for selling, whatever's applicable to you. And then scroll down a little bit more, put in your contact information, first name, last name, your email address. That's all that we need. If you want to receive our newsletter and some other updates we send in the mail, then provide us with your mailing address and we'll send you those. And then there's a couple choices here that may be applicable. Feel free to check any that are applicable, and then submit form, click that. That will come to me, and we'll get you the information on the value of your property. So it's just that easy. Enjoy our website, snoop around, and hope you find it helpful. Have any questions? Again, just shoot me an email. I'll be happy to reply. If you wish to get a phone call from me, let me know your phone number and a preferred time for me to call, and I'll reach out to you and give you a ring. So that's it. Thank you for watching our webinar, and don't get taxed too much. So take a look at that carefully, and we'll help you out if you want our assistance. Thank you. Bye-bye.